So if we have these three types, let's talk about some realistic, simple strategies. Some you've heard a lot about today already. So we're just putting them in place and mapping them to task, process, or relationship. So the first thing that we can do, which I think I heard at least two presenters today talking about, is a responsibility matrix. So RACI is one option, MOCA is another. I'm sure there's a million possibilities that folks can use to identify everybody's roles. What are their responsibilities? Making sure that it's clear from your kickoff. Whether you have repeated types of projects, that's what we have. A lot of educational things. It's similar process, so we can use those templates, or whether it's unique every time. The other thing we can do to help with process and task conflict is putting together a project plan. So I know you all received some of the toolkits today. Our team, we obviously definitely use POEM, POEMs. We definitely use the project plans. We've worked with the SIG to put some of our projects together to make sure, everything's filled in and we can see our progress and what's got a barrier and what have you. Our team also definitely a plug for MS Planner. We use that a lot. We may start with a project plan and then move it there because it is dynamic. It's free to the agency. Obviously, there's others, Asana, Jira. Our IT folks might be using a number of other ones because they're a little more subtask and workflow based. But if you can get to get your team used to using these tools, because it is something new. If they haven't used it before, something like Planner can be visually challenging, but once they get used to it, I hear folks say they become dependent on it because you can go to Assign Just to Me and see everything for the week, for the month, whatever you may want. But this helps not only the individuals have the clear expectations, but also lets leaders look at, okay, I want to see everything that's tagged to Jackie Haven, right? She's got 30 things. That's probably not realistic. And I think that's a data point that allows us to have conversations. Again, I've seen in the chat talking about, okay, what do we do if we've got these competing priorities? What do we do if, we have some work overload? And, of course, I think the response from most folks is, and I think Dr. Martinez says as well, is, what are the data points? What does work overload mean? It's hard to just say I have too much work. Okay, well, what does that mean? And so having something like MS Planner and multiple POEMs, if you need them, can really help you get to that point. And then finally, surprisingly or not, team charters. And I think, again, I saw a lot in the chat earlier today that team charters were really one thing folks wanted to either dust off and start using again, or pick up and really use to support their teams, because it does get to who are the decision makers, what is the decision making process, who are the folks that are, where does the buck stop? And that's not always as clear, I think, as we think it is until we start writing it down in a charter and writing it down in a RACI chart, and then that's much clearer. It also has roles and some guidance to prevent that scope creep, things of that nature. So again, all the tools that Mr. Matney was talking about this morning really help us prevent these conflicts, even outside of change, just in our day-to-day operations. How do we prevent that conflict? How do we build trust and move forward? And I'll reiterate, making sure we refer to these regularly, whether that's every day, once a week. I think it really depends on the project. We look at ours on Thursdays with the whole team, and then individual teams look at them in their huddles. But our MS Planner pretty much is, if I were to screen share my desktop right now, it's open so that I can kind of see what's going on, and the team can message me and I can see my own work. So definitely really need things to be a living document. I'll also add, before I talk a little bit more about a RACI tidbit I want to share with you all, many of you are PMPs, so you've probably used RACI and MOCA and Jira and Asana and all those things, but your team may not have. So we have in JKO, there is a course, DHA, and I can put this in the chat too, DHA 1434. So 1434 is the course number. And this is a POEM course. It's a short, very introductory course, may not be suitable for your interest, for the folks on the line, unless if it is,